guys today. This process for us on this day, it's such an important one, and we were saying that the process takes care of the learning. And so much of our early game plan, some 2-minute stuff goes in today. Pass that to players and all of us. We're really excited for this weekend. Get back at home in front of our fans. We definitely felt the energy that they brought to the building last week. So same challenge back at them. So we're starting earlier, so we get there early. A couple guys give you some injury updates. 2 players are still in the concussion protocols. We're getting prepared to play. That's Ricardo Allen and Ryan Schrader. A couple guys won't practice today. Courtney Upshaw, it'll be tough for him to make it back in time for the game, but 2 guys who are closer doing some running today, that'd be Vic Beasley and Teron Ward. So I'll give you some updates as we go through the week from there. So lots of work to put in for today, but we're off to a great start. We talk about our 1% and getting better, and we brought up sometimes on this day, we even talk about great competitors, and we had showed one of Usain Bolt today, and the difference of going from 9.69 to 9.58. And he had a quote that said, "Dreams are free, but goals have a cost." And that's really what today is, about putting out for one another to help get each other ready. So glad to open it up on topics for the game and get started.
Coach, how do you assess their offense and how they try to use Sean McCoy?
Right, they're first thing's a big offensive line. That's the first thing when you go through the film, what jumps out to you. That's been the case there for a few years with their offensive line. They've been really a quick run team, over the last couple of years. So that jumps out. And then McCoy, I think, edges to cut back, that's one of the things I think he does the very best. There's some concepts in their system that are similar to ours, the wide zone with the play action and the bootlegs and keepers that go along with that. So that's not a surprise from Coach Dennison and his background as well. So you'll see some elements of some of the similar things that we do. Quarterback can really get out on the edge, and especially on 3rd downs, create to get 1st downs, but he's dangerous in that way, and big receivers. So that's some of the things we see from them offensively.
McCoy, the past couple of weeks, is it just as simple as he's just loading the box against them, or what do you see that?
No, I think he's been pretty accustomed to that for a while. So sometimes it goes where you don't have one, or a breakdown might have happened here where he's able to get these long runs. He's still been very effective, in the pass game. It just seems forever he's been fantastic in the screen game and getting going. So they're committed in the run game, and sometimes it just takes the turns and turns as you're going through. But he had a big outing the first week, and they played in a similar fashion.
It seemed like against Denver, they had a lot of guys crossing, a lot of crossing out and stuff like that. What do you see with some of those route concepts that they're putting together?
Right, and in that game especially, there was a lot of quarterback movement. A lot of bootlegs and a lot of chances for the quarterback to get outside the pocket. And certain times it has different ways. Is that going to be a big factor? Usually when you're game planning, or is that going to be a part of the game? And we go through that same process. How often do we do that with Matt? How often do we stay in a different kind of play action? So I'm sure they're some of the same way.
Sean McDermott said that from his time at William & Mary that he's always known that you had it. What has your relationship been like with him, and what does that mean to you in here?
Well, it's a very humbling, because when you look back at players that you had a chance to coach and be around. So that was my very first year of coaching, and it just so happens there were 2 guys who were going to be seen as fantastic leaders on their college teams. One was a sophomore and one was a senior on that team. So the senior played wide receiver, and that was Michael Tomlin. He was pretty good, and he's turned out to be a hell of a leader. And the other one was Sean McDermott, and so Sean was a safety on that team. He was a sophomore at that time, but it was during those interactions with players that it was my first year coaching, so I was closer in age to the players than I was to the coaches, and so I really had a good bond with some of those guys as my coaching career was started. I've really kept up with them through the years and have really admired the toughness and style that they've played both in Philadelphia and Carolina. So it's good for me to see that transition to the whole team. The defenses that he's been involved on were always hard-nosed and really good. Now you can see that coming through to the entire team, and that's not easy to do, but that's now his personality coming through the team.
That's kind of what do you think fostered that kind of atmosphere there, that you would have 3 guys where you were at right now?
Yeah, and I don't know. And it was such, for me, it was the perfect runway to kick off my coaching career in college. And I had a similar one when I went to the 49ers for my career, you know, in the NFL. And so the coach is still there today. His name is Jimmy Laycock. And he showed what a good model of, you know, coaching and what it could be like, the organization, the details for it. I can still remember.